The following
DSP tries it.
has been paid for by the
Kojima World Order. There have been two people recently who took it upon themselves to go back into my archives of footage and to fully watch my Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 playthroughs from the HD remakes of those games last year. Basically, to make extremely long montage videos of the gameplay where they added their own personal quirks and snippets and commentary, making fun of me, dedicating time and effort to it was just a hobby. Well, all of a sudden I started becoming popular by complete chance. I don't know if it was because I was just one of the first people to do that, instead of just doing direct capture with, oh, this is a high-level fucking gameplay or whatever. I was doing it to have fun. That's the difference between myself and a lot of other gamers. The time that you play a video game, you're automatically entered into the who's the best at this game competition, and you have to be playing at an ultra-high level to enjoy the game. And there are some people who think that because I don't play games at a high level, that I don't deserve attention. You know? I literally said at the beginning of the Metal Gear Solid 2 playthrough, I've never played this game before. I have no idea how to play it. I'm probably going to suck at it. Like, I prefaced the playthrough saying that. The cult leader, what was it, the King of Wait HD, people who used to make these parody channels, and all they were dedicated to me and hating on me, saying that I was an evil person. I was trying to brainwash children into watching my content so that I could make money. I was trying to basically brainwash you, and then he was making fun of me during it. And it wasn't like, okay, let's jab a poke here and there at Phil. It was malicious. The video was malicious. Why would someone make a video like that? Completely malicious intent. What's wrong with you? Some fucking stupid elitist prick idiot. I mean, seriously, he's fucking ridiculous. And again, he needs to check himself into a mental institution. You're fucked in the head to make fun of them. Like, that's just sick. It really is disturbing, and I'm actually afraid of this guy, that he's like a nut job, and that if I continue to play games on YouTube, he's going to show up here one night and try to murder me. Number one, he's just insanely jealous of me. He's insanely jealous that here on YouTube and Twitch, I'm now successful. I'm making a living doing it. He's insanely jealous because maybe he's trying to do it and he can't. And so I gotta make fun of the guy, and I gotta hate on the guy who's made it because I haven't. And I can understand that. On this podcast, the Kane Bringing the Pain podcast, Gamer Talk Live, and I addressed all the questions that they had, okay? Now, I wasn't actually expecting to get anything out of it whatsoever. I just thought that, hey, if someone really wants to ask me real talk questions, I'm a real person. Like I said, I feel I'm one of the realest people on the internet. I'll give them honest answers. And I did. And by the end of that podcast, you had a group of people who were basically my fans all along. They said, you know what? That made us feel good. He was honest. He addressed a lot of issues. In fact, I even went out of the way to address a situation that I had with the Area Lord, my longtime fan, my friend, my personal friend, who was a little bit upset about the fact that he couldn't hang out with me this summer. It didn't work out. We were trying to get it to coordinate. It didn't work out. And he was a little bit upset, and he used that opportunity to kind of vent some anger and some concerns that he had about some of my content and things that I've been doing this year that he didn't agree with. All right? And people, these haters, these people who were making these videos, this bandwagon mentality, used his video. They're, oh, that's an example. See? His longtime fan and friend hates him now. To which Chris was like, what? I never said that, and that's not what the intention of the video was. He actually ended up taking down the video and basically apologizing to me, which he didn't need to do, but he apologized to me and said, I didn't mean it like that, and I'm sorry that they used it as more fuel for their fire and their bandwagon mentality of bullying against you, okay? So, I addressed that on the podcast. I didn't have to, but I did. I even went out of the way and explained that situation. Because I thought they were going to ask me about it. I really did. I thought they were going to ask me about it. So I actually went out of my way to be as honest as possible. Of course, immediately after the podcast, that was it. The haters, oh, this was his one big chance. This was his opportunity to address, and he didn't address any of the issues. And this is really, again, this is where this mentality of little nugget of truth turned into bullshit kind of flourishes. So the little nugget of truth here was that there was one particular person who I said I didn't want to talk about on the podcast. They took that nugget of truth and they lied. They spun it and said, well, he said he doesn't want to talk about this person, he didn't want to talk about that person, he didn't want to talk about this situation, and he had a laundry list of criteria before he went on this podcast, so that's why really they didn't ask any tough questions. He's an asshole, he was just, it was a lie, he wasn't really going to be honest with anyone about anything, he was just trying to put smoke over your, over your eyes, and fool you. And it's a complete lie. It was all completely untrue. I had one stipulation, and I just told you what it was. So for them to say all that stuff was a complete and utter falsehood, but because there was a snippet of truth, most people say, oh, well, I guess they're right, because I watched the podcast and really there was nothing that made Phil look bad, so they must be right. And they just use that for more fuel for the fire. And the bottom line is this. The people who really hate you, or the people who are using negativity to make themselves popular, are always going to hate you, all right? In any form of life. They're always going to bully you. They're always going to do that because it makes them feel good about themselves and it gives them attention, okay? And that's why this is happening right now. It's not because all of a sudden Phil has changed and Phil is completely different in what he does now and his content isn't funny anymore. It's because they've realized that by saying this stuff, they've now joined this bullying popularity group, and now they can get attention and views for doing it. And that's really what's going on right now. Again, this bandwagon mentality, okay? So I noticed after the podcast that this was happening, and I even addressed it on Twitter. I said, listen, they're always going to hate no matter what because they're doing it for a reason. They're not doing it for legitimacy. They're doing it because they're not looking for any kind of an answer or an apology or an explanation of why things are happening. Instead, they're doing it so that they can be popular. So just ignore their stuff. And that's what I said. I'm going to ignore it from now on. For the past month, my whole kind of mentality was just ignore it, push forward positively, and do what I do in a positive fashion, and just ignore all the negativity, okay? But it finally came to the point now, right now, like this is pretty much it, where the common viewer on YouTube, like I said, they're not a fanboy nor a hater. They're just looking for content. And, oh, Dark Side Phil, DSP Gaming, what's he about? And they type it in, and the first thing they see are a bunch of hate-filled, nasty videos about me, 99% of which are false, 1% of which has a little nugget of truth. There's a guy, this is a absolutely 100% true situation. You can ask anyone in the stream chat after we disable subscriber only mode about this. And there's one person in particular where all this started. And I apologize that I am going to address one particular person, but it's going to be in a completely truthful and respectful manner, and I'm hoping that this is going to clear the air regarding the entire situation around this person, because people have used this one person's situation as a way to fuel this entire campaign. So let's see how you do after I tell you the real story about what happened with this particular person. And this particular person, I get the feeling a lot of people on the stream know who I'm talking about, especially if you have been a member or a longtime member of my website, thekingofhate.com, and it is my fan site, okay? And I'm going to explain the whole situation from start to finish. Bear with me because it's going to be a long one, all right? Looking to buy a gaming PC. Now, I never said I'm going to buy it at a certain date. I never said, please, someone build me a PC. Never. I said I'm looking to buy a gaming PC. Chris approached me. Chris Furtado from the website approached me. I didn't approach him. He approached me. And he said, hey, Phil, so I watched your video. I heard you're looking for a gaming PC. I am currently enrolled in some program. I don't know if he was an intern or it was something to earn credits for his schoolwork. I have no idea. Keep in mind he's in school. He was a kid. All right? I would like to build you a gaming PC. And the way that it would work is that we'll write out piece by piece what it is that you actually want in your PC, and I will purchase at my store discount, because I guess he had a discount for whatever this program was, all the items for the PC. I'll custom build the PC for you, and then I'll mail you the PC. And that was the agreement we had. Now, I'm going to be honest, this pretty much turned into a money pit at one point. Okay? And what I mean by that, if you've ever seen the movie The Money Pit, you know. It's a project that when you first look at it, you think it's going to cost you one thing. But as you work on this project, you realize that it's going to be more and more expensive than you originally thought it was going to be. So originally, I was thinking a price point of maybe $700, $800, maybe $1,000 tops for building this PC. But as Chris and I went back and forth talking about the build of this PC, we realized more and more, oh man, if we want to have that graphics card, we got to have this better power supply. Oh man, well, if the RAM, we might want to have this amount of RAM, because if you're going to be doing that amount of video editing, you might need this amount of RAM, okay? So, initially, what I wanted to be maybe between $700 to $1,000. By all is said and done, first of all, I can't even tell you what it cost, because I can't find the damn receipts. Chris actually, when the PC was done, he mailed me all the receipts to prove that he obviously didn't waste my money, which he didn't. He did not, absolutely not. He was very upfront, transparent with what he did when he built that PC. He sent me all the receipts. It's filed away in literally thousands of documents, and I can't find it right now. But what I did do is that I went on my PayPal to see how much money I sent to him directly through PayPal to build this PC. It ended up that I paid him almost $1,600 to build this PC by the time it was done. Now that's only what I can see through PayPal. I don't personally remember if I actually bought anything else outside of PayPal and put it into the PC too. I don't remember, but that was the investment cost that I put into this PC, okay? Okay. So, I finally get the PC, and I open it up, and I'm looking at it. It looked amazing. Had these lights and all these bells and whistles, had everything that I wanted. But I was looking at it, and it has this door. I don't know if you guys know, but on a lot of PC cases, there's a door on the front. You open the door, and inside you'll have your CD drive, your USB ports, and stuff like that. The door had a big crack on it. And I was looking at it like, how did that happen? Okay? But I didn't question that, so maybe, unfortunately, the case, you know, might have showed up damaged or whatever. I don't know. But I thought Chris would have told me that this case has a giant crack on the front of it, but he never did, alright? So I finally hooked the thing up. Come to find out, when I finally booted the thing up, okay, the front fan on it was damaged. It never held in place properly, and so what I've had to do is I actually have a piece of plastic that I have to wedge into the side of the case to hold the fan in place so it doesn't go like this and make loud noises when I do my commentary. In fact, you probably, last year during 2012, it got real bad. You might have heard some of the weird noises. That's what it was. It was the fan from my PC making this really weird squeaking noise, okay? In addition, I had paid for what I believe, and I could be wrong because I didn't get to pull the specs, but I paid for something like 12 gigabytes of RAM because I wanted this to be a beast. I wanted to really chug when it did video editing. And when I booted the PC up, I found that only 8 gigabytes of RAM worked, alright? So now I'm like, oh no, so what's going on? Did I buy a lemon? What's happening with this PC? Luckily for me, it wasn't a lemon. It was just a series of mistakes made by Chris when he was making this PC, okay? He didn't tell me about these mistakes. He just basically said, well, there's problems with it. Oh well, mail it to Phil, too bad. I don't know why. I don't know why he wouldn't have said, Phil, there's a couple problems, here's what's going on, I want you to know up front so you don't just get it and you're surprised. It was almost, I mean, I don't know, I'm speculating, it was almost like he was hoping I wouldn't notice. Like I wasn't tech savvy enough to notice that there were problems with the PC. But the good news is the PC worked for everything I wanted to do. I could do video editing, I could play games, you know, all the high-end games were able to run on it at the time in 2011. So I really didn't complain. I said, you know what, here's the deal. Chris did a real awesome thing for me when he made this website. He massively helped me, so as a way to pay him back, I did this for him. I'm sure he got credit, whether it was school credits or it was money. I don't know what he got out of it, but he got something out of it positive, and that was really why I got this PC from Chris, to pay him back for doing such a massive thing for me, a positive thing for me. You know, I'm the kind of person, you do something for me, I want to help you back. I'm not just going to say, oh, well, thanks a lot, well, screw you, I don't give a shit. And that's why I got the PC from Chris. I could have went and bought a retail level PC for $700 to $800, which is what I was initially thinking of doing. And quite honestly, the PC probably would have had most of the stuff in it that my PC has right now. So, a month or two later, I was trying to finally figure out what was going on with this crack on the front of the PC case, because I didn't know what was going on. And I started to ask around my mods on my website, because keep in mind, like I said, Chris, he's never around. He was like an absentee owner of the website. He doesn't do anything on the website. He was basically there to chat every once in a while, and that was it. But that's fine. He created the site, and I was appreciative of that. So I started talking to my mods on the website, and one of them finally came out and told me, Phil, I hate to tell you this, but you pretty much, you screwed yourself when you did this, and you got this PC from Chris. Because he didn't know what he was doing. Many times when he was building the PC, he actually sought help from people on the website to do it, because it was obvious he didn't know how to do it properly. He actually got the PC cracked, alright? That PC showed up to him damaged. And instead of making a claim on the delivery service that the case came from, he just let it slide. He said, well, oh well, it's not my PC, so I don't care that there's a crack and that the fan's damaged. Let it slide. And so he knew there was damage to the PC when he built it for me. He didn't care. He just wanted to get the PC built and done back to me. Okay?
So when I heard this, I was like, I was appalled. Now keep in mind, I'm not making this up. There's people who work at the website who will tell you this. All right? There's people who, people in the stream chat right now just said, I remember he had a ton of issues with configuring the thing. All right? It's not a lie. It's blatant fact. Okay? And so I said, you know what? I could be a dick, and I could call out Chris, and I could be a real asshole about this situation, but he did a solid for me. He made this website. This website is a great positive thing, and there's no reason whatsoever for me to be a dick about this. I'm going to just say, even Steven, the PC works. It doesn't work as much as I want it to. I've got 4 dead gigs of RAM inside that don't fucking work. I've got a noisy fan. I've got a cracked case. But for the most part, the PC is working. So I'm not going to be a dick about it and complain, even though I spent way more than I wanted to on this PC. Who were on my website, who were fans of mine, but because they found out that I was censoring my comments on my YouTube videos, that was like, that's it. Phil, he's given us free content for years. He's done giveaways. We used to love him, but because he started censoring comments, that's it. He's the devil. We hate him. And what happened was, behind the scenes, there began this real negativity on my website, thekingofhate.com. And I hate to admit it, but I have to, because I monitored it. I wanted to see what was going to happen with it. Chris was one of those people. Chris completely flipped on his head. He felt that I had lost my way, said he wasn't a fan of my content anymore. He wasn't watching my content anymore, okay? Now, that's fine. You know what? That is absolutely fine. If Chris doesn't like my stuff, he thinks that I've changed, that's fine. But what he proceeded to do was, he had this band, again, what's happening on YouTube right now was happening on my website a year ago. This bandwagon mentality. Whenever there was a post about a new playthrough what I was doing, whenever there was anything intelligent said, these 10, 20 people would attack the fucking thread. Well, that's because you still watch this asshole's content. I don't know why the fuck you're still watching his stuff. He's a dickhead, he's a censor, he's a racist, he's a bigot, he's this, he's that. And it was just this real negative map. And even though there were people who wouldn't blatantly say that stuff, they'd still, every post that they made was a negative post. All it wasn't legitimate constructive criticism, it was destructive criticism. And that's the worst kind. Criticism just for the sake of making someone look bad or attacking them. And this was happening, and Chris was one of these people. In fact, I had people on my website who were in, say, the stream chat, and they saw Chris not even just participating, but starting conversations like that. Oh, Phil's a dinosaur. He still uses a camera. You know, he won't listen to anything that we say. He just goes like this, meh, 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 and says that he knows best in all situations. He won't listen to fan feedback. He censors us whenever we give him legitimate criticism. I don't like Phil anymore. And it's like, now wait a minute. You're supposedly one of the owners of a fan site for someone, and instead of, if you don't like them, you step back, right? No, he turned it into a smear campaign against me for a year behind my back. And this is the real issue that I have with Chris and anyone who's going to try to attack someone. If you have an issue with someone, fucking be man enough to say it to their face. Chris knew how to reach me. He had my email. Hell, he had personal contact information for me. If he really had an issue at any point, he could have come and said it to me like a man, and we could have talked about it man to man. And not that there would have been a resolution, but that is infinitely better than going behind someone's back and literally trying to convert the people on the fan site and turn the fan site into a hate site. And that's what Chris tried to do during 2012. And I'm not saying it was just him. I said there's this group of people. There was this bullying mentality of about 10 to 20 people who were just completely negative in the year of 2012. Okay? So it's this simple. I called him out on his bullshit. I called him out, and I said, listen, I don't know what the fuck your problem is. I don't have an issue with you. I never did, you know? And I don't know why you're doing this, but I've gotten wind of it. People have sent me chat logs of you doing it. So it's happening. And I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why, but it needs to stop. Because I'm not going to have someone who supposedly is a leader in the community being a negative dick to me behind my back. If you have a problem with me, you say it to my face and we'll hash it out. And of course, Chris responded, I don't know what you're talking about. This is completely untrue, which I had proof. I had literally black and white proof, and he says it was all untrue. Made no sense, okay? So what I did is I actually did a little bit more research. I started talking to the moderators of the website, and come to find out, what I found out was this, and this is 100% true, regardless of what Chris wants to tell you. Chris has 0% stake in the website. He doesn't own thekingofhate.com. His friend Teo does. Teo is the person who the website is associated with. I'm going to tell you something else which you've probably never heard before, and people, well, you know, Phil, you know, they made this website completely out of their own good free will, right? And they did it just to help Phil. Well, let me tell you something about thekingofhate.com. You know those ads that you see on the website? Guess who makes money on those ads? Not me. They do. They're all in Teo's name, and Teo's been bringing in money from those ads now, supposedly to pay for the site maintenance, to pay to keep the website running. And I've never asked him, does that pay more or less, or is that enough to actually pay to keep the site running? Because again, these guys are absentee owners of the site. They never talk to me about anything. They literally made the site, and then they kind of just went their own way, and I'm okay with that because I found other people who were able to do programming and to keep the site going, okay? So they're making money off of my website, okay? And in addition to that, I don't know how many of you know this, this is not the only fan site that they own. They made a fan site for SSOHPKC and I think one or two other people as well, and they did the same exact thing. They make the site, they put their ads on the site, and then they just become absentee owners of the website. Now again, this is not me complaining, this is me stating fact, okay? So I find out Chris is basically hating on me. I do some research and find out Chris doesn't even own the website. Alright? I'm like, now this is ridiculous. I'm not going to put up with this abuse from someone who doesn't even own it. So I contacted Teo directly, and I said, Teo, here's the situation with Chris. Here's what's been going on. I had words with him, and if he keeps it up, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to tell you right now, Teo, I would like to buy the website. I've straight up said, I would like to buy it. I want to buy it from you. That way there's no responsibility on you or Chris. It's fully in my realm. I'll pay for all the site maintenance. You guys can just go off into the sunset and do whatever you want to do. I'm very appreciative for what you guys have done for me. I want to buy the website. Teo responded to me and said, I don't know what's going on with Chris. I haven't been on the website for months. I sincerely apologize. Don't go nuts. Don't try to buy the website from me yet. We can still have things go as they always have. Let me talk to Chris. Okay? After that, I didn't hear from Chris for a long-ass time. Alright? A long-ass time. And then what ended up happening later that year, apparently what happened was, I guess Chris had gotten an advanced copy of a game. I think it was either Halo. It was something. I don't even know because I wasn't involved with the situation. He got an advanced copy of the game. He showed it to everyone in a video on the website. He posted it to the website from his YouTube channel and said, ha, look, I got the game before all of you did, and I'm going to do a playthrough of this game. And I'm going to do it before everyone else, so I'm going to get, more popularity because I got an advanced copy of the game. And I guess a couple people in particular, one being the Airy Lord, called out Chris on the website and said, why are you doing this? Number one, this is Phil's fan site, so why is this even on topic? Number two, Phil is staunchly against getting games before release date and doing anything with them. Why would you post this on his fan site? Number three, we all disagree with your decision to do this. We think that this is wrong. Like, what gives? What's going on? You should really not be doing this. This is a very negative thing that you've put on the website, to which Chris basically flipped out, said, that's it. I'm not doing this anymore. I can't post stuff that I want on my own website. I'm leaving. And he made this big announcement video that he was leaving thekingofhate.com permanently and for good. Okay? He didn't. He didn't leave permanently or for good. Okay? So, I will say this. Chris Furtado posted up a thread on thekingofhate.com. Again, I thought he was gone for good, but he's back. Posted up a thread and says, Phil, I really feel you should do direct capture. I think it would help your views. I think it would help your business as a whole. This is just me being a concerned viewer. And here's how you can do it. And he proceeded to step-by-step break down the equipment that I would need to do it. And basically saying it's super easy. It's not that difficult at all. There's no reason why I shouldn't do it. And I responded and I said, well, Chris, first of all, thank you for all this information. I did. I saved that information for later reference. Okay? And maybe a week later, I came back to the site and I looked at the thread. And guess what the thread turned into? The entire thread turned into people, Chris and other people, not just Chris, again, almost the same people again from the previous year. Phil doesn't listen to us. Phil's an asshole. See, he just blew off all of your recommendations. He didn't really read or listen to what you had to say. And the one poignant thing that Chris said that I remember it, it irks me that he said this in a post. He said, Phil is a dinosaur. He refuses to change. Oh, well, you know, let's see him die. Let's see him die off into obscurity. He's going to be gone after this year. And I saw that. I was like, man, like, I really didn't get that vibe from his initial post. His initial post seemed very positive. And just because I didn't immediately say, okay, I'll drop everything and adopt direct capture, it's like he completely changed. Like, because I wouldn't listen to what he had to say and immediately make the change. That was it. Like, I'm an asshole. And what it really is, it's self-entitlement. We bought all the equipment there that was recommended. I used Chris's recommendations. I literally used everything Chris had said to try to set up my direct capture setup, and then I also used, obviously, John Rambo's know-how of the XSplit program to get it to work, all right? Immediately, what I found was that out of all the recommendations Chris gave me, it was all half information. He didn't actually tell me about this little problem that was going to happen here, and this little problem that was going to happen here. I didn't even know that the PlayStation 3 had what's called HDCP, which is high definition copy protection, and that you couldn't stream through HDMI, and that I was going to have to use some kind of an adapter cable, use the component, run it through something to get it to work for direct capture. And in fact, I didn't know this, but the HD PVR2, which is what I use right now to capture on everything, I'm using it right now to capture this vlog, actually has issues with the PlayStation 3. It's actually not a good thing to use with the PlayStation 3 bare bones. Now, eventually what I ended up doing to get it to work, I bought a whole bunch of audio rippers and things that pass through, and basically they bypass that high definition copy protection, and now I am able to use my PS3 with my HD PVR2. But he mentioned none of this in his initial post that supposedly was the definitive post on how I could start live streaming, and if I didn't listen to that, I was a dinosaur, okay? So, here I was one night. The next day I was supposed to be playing a game, I think it was on PS3, and here I am trying to figure it out, and I'll be honest, I was ripping pissed, because here I am trying to figure it out, and admittedly, I was having a drink that night, so maybe my judgment was somewhat impaired in what I was doing. And this took place not on YouTube in a public video where I was calling someone out. This took place on the stream chat during a stream where it was a test-only stream. I think there were like 100 people on the stream, if that. Okay, because it was me testing my PS3 equipment, trying to get my PS3 to work with my HD PVR2, and no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to fucking work. I was just having massive problems. And Chris was in the chat, basically kind of like, well, you know, you should have figured it out. You know, this is what you get for doing it so late, blah, blah. He was basically almost insulting me. And that was the last fucking straw. I was like, this is it. I've done nothing but, you know, helpful things for... me. And I had it. And I led into him. I said, listen, who the fuck do you think you are? Just because you made me a website, you think you can treat me like dirt at this point? So I finally decided that I am going to adjust to what you said. Everything you told me about it, half of it was wrong because I didn't know anything about the difficulties with PS3. And now who the fuck are you to basically, you know, say this shit to me in the chat? Fuck you, and you owe me an apology. I did. I publicly said, fuck you. You owe me an apology for doing this. And Chris absolutely said, what? This is ridiculous. I refuse. He left the chat, wouldn't talk about it or anything, nothing, okay? Now keep in mind, this was in March. I don't talk to Chris. I already said this. He's an absentee owner of the website, whatever you want to say. I haven't talked to him ever, really, in a personal conversation about anything, except the one time I called him out on the website to stop hating on me. All of a sudden, a couple months ago, and I don't remember exactly when it was, I find out, Phil, did you hear? Chris Furtado made a video about you, and it's complete nastiness, saying that you're an asshole, saying that he has definitive proof, that, you know, you've lied about things in the past, and that you're a dick, and you're unappreciative of everything. I was like, listen, I don't know anything about it. I don't know what the stick up his ass ever was about me to begin with. I've never really said a negative thing about the guy at all, except for 1 or 2 times in a forum post where he was being a dick to me, and once on my stream chat in front of maybe 100 people. If you noticed, and this is the, I mean, just let's be honest here, if you notice, have I ever, until right now, ever addressed him? Have I ever made a public video lambasting him and making fun of him and yelling at him and attack? No, because that's not what I do. There's no reason for me to focus on the negativity, all right? And so what I've done, with all the negative stuff, having a PC that only half functions the way it's supposed to and was way over budget, the fact that he didn't tell me that it was dropped and damaged up front, the fact that he literally was the part of a movement in 2012 that was just real nasty and negativity on the website to the point where I had to call him out, the fact that he makes money on the website, him and Teo, through the ads, okay? And that he's going to spin it like it's some amazing, great thing that he did for me making the website. I'm sure there's a bunch of other people who would have loved to make a website for me too, okay? But these were the first guys to step up and do it because they had done it for other people. So, again, I'm very appreciative of that. But for you to take all that and to think that that's an excuse to be negative, to be nasty, to say stuff about me on my website, then to call me a dinosaur, to insult me again, to say that I'm behind the times, and you hope that I fail this year. And now it all comes to a head full circle when he makes this hate-filled video, all of half-truths. So in the video, he says things like, Phil said that he spent $3,000 on a PC. That's not true. Here's a receipt showing that he only spent $1,000 or $1,200 or wherever it was. So, okay, again, seed of truth. At one time on a forum post, I probably said, oh, you know, thousands of dollars or $3,000, whatever. It was on a forum post. It wasn't a public video where I stated this. It was trying to call out Chris on making me a bum PC. I really never really even did that, okay? So, all right, maybe I had the dollar amount off on some obscure forum post that really no one ever saw. He makes a video about it saying, like I've made a video to the masses for thousands of people and slandered his name. I never did that because it's not important enough for me to even bother doing it. It's a waste of my time. Like I said, I focus on the positive, not the negative. So he makes this one point, says it was only $1,200. Complete lie, because I have PayPal records that show I've sent him at least over $1,500 if and when I didn't even spend more money on other components. I don't know. I can't prove it because I don't have the receipts in front of me. You know, he went on to even address directly when I insulted him and I basically told him to fuck off and I asked for an apology, all right? It happened. Absolutely it happened. Because he had been literally just fucking attacking the shit out of me for an entire year in 2012 to the point where I had to tell him to cut it the fuck out or I'm going to buy the website from you guys. And then in 2013 he came back and did it again. So this guy, I don't know what the fuck Chris Furtado's problem is. And again, if he was a man, he would have come right to me and said, Phil, I had issues with you. These are the issues I have with you. Let's hash them out man to man. Instead, he just went, you know, very backhandedly behind my back for years, trying to amass people on the website to be anti-DSP, calling me dinosaurs and stuff like that. And then finally culminates when he makes this video on YouTube, and the video blew up. You want to know why the video blew up? Because no one expected that. This guy is someone who, you know, I used to publicly thank on a regular basis for making me my website, and his attitude about me had completely changed without him so much as ever even discussing it with me like a man. So it was a blatant attack, and people were like, wow, I'm really taken aback that Chris is doing this. And ever since then, what's happened is people who maybe were fans of mine for a long time or whatever saw that video and they were like, whoa, this may be a dark side of DSP that we didn't know about, all right? So again, I'm not just saying anything that Chris is saying that he's a complete liar, because he's not. There's seeds of truth in everything. But he basically took little seeds of truth and twisted them into these ridiculous, overblown arguments. And the video's hilarious because he says, oh, I'm not a hater. Yet during the video, he blatantly says, screw Phil, I hope he fails, and things like that. You don't hope that people fail unless you're a hater. You know what I mean? That's pretty much directly what it is. So ever since then, Chris has been on this anti-DSP campaign, and he's been trying to amass support from people who have been my viewers for quite some time, trying to twist little things, little factual things, into big overblown things that they're not, and make me look bad. And I'm to the point where I can't just not say. I had to come out today and get this off my chest and explain to everybody what the truth of the situation was. Now, it's funny. Because last night, I was mulling over. There's been a lot of stuff, full disclosure here, there's been a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now. There's things going on with my dad, there's things going on with other stuff that you guys don't need to know about, and there's a lot of stuff going on that it is kind of bumming me out to the point where, you know, I look to YouTube as, all right, I may be bummed out right now, but there's positive stuff. I can go to YouTube, I can go to Twitch, and I can have this cool stuff going on. And then I go there, and all I see, thumbs down, fuck Phil hates his fans, listen to Chris knows what he's talking about, fuck you. And I'm like, that's it. That's the last fucking straw. I'm not going to put up with this bullying bullshit anymore from someone who's made it his personal agenda to hate on me, to fucking push his views, and get his popularity to skyrocket. Chris Furtado is nothing but a bully. That's what Chris Furtado is. He's not some kind of a loyal fan who twisted and turned over the years, and because of things that I did, he changed his attitude. I don't know what his problem is, because I've never had an actual conversation with the guy about the situation, because he won't. And by the way, I'm not interested in it anymore, because last night, he went on Twitter, and I will quote this for you. Last night on Twitter, he tweeted, Darkside Phil is the cancer of the gaming community. Alright? I want you to think about that. Before I even respond, I want you to think about how you would feel if someone called you cancer. One of the most destructive diseases on the planet. It ruins lives. It ruins families. It's one of the most horrendous things that you can think of. Alright? He's gonna call me cancer. Alright? I know people who've died of fucking cancer, Chris. Alright? Now I got a problem with you. Because that's where I draw the fucking line. Alright? All the things that I've done over the years to give you guys, and I'm not talking to Chris anymore, I'm talking to all the viewers, to give you guys fun content, to give you guys entertainment, to make you laugh, to put a smile on your face when otherwise maybe you were having a bad day, and, you know, I just need to do something to kind of, you know, cheer me up, and people jump on and they watch my content and they put a smile on their face. I have so many heartfelt messages from people who've told me that over the years that my content is, you know, uplifting for them. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing and never giving up through all the negativity, because it's a positive for them, okay? And that positivity is what keeps me going. That's really what keeps me going, because I'll be honest, there were a couple times when I was like, when my original Darkside Phil channel got shut down, I was like so disappointed and flipping pissed. When I got kicked off, when I lost my job, when I got kicked off of YouTube, when I got kicked off of Blip TV, when I saw this negativity on my website, it's like hurdle after hurdle after hurdle that I've had to jump over these past few years in order to make this thing work. It's not easy. And by any means, I don't want you to misconstrue this and make it feel like I'm saying that my job is insanely hard. It's not. Here's what I do. I wake up every morning, I plan out what I'm going to play, I put up a few tweets, I play a few games, direct capture, upload it, babysit the uploads. Yes, I put up with the frustrations of Twitch TV's chat, alright, that's fucked up. I put up with the frustrations of YouTube, but I understand that being a gamer and gaming and being able to make a living off of that is a privilege. It's an amazing amount of luck, and it's because of you, the viewer, that I am able to do that, and I am eternally grateful for that. And that's why when I get the opportunity to do new interactive stuff like live streaming this year, okay? When I get the opportunity to do giveaways, to do things. I got giveaways coming up later this year that I think you guys are gonna love. When I get to do things like fan appreciation and play with you guys from time to time, I love it because I hope that I am at least giving back. See this ridiculous campaign of people who are basically trying to slander me because this one particular person who supposedly people thought he was like a figurehead in the community has flipped his opinion and he's going to be saying these things about me. Now everyone's finding this as a legitimate reason to hate me, even though it's all based off little nuggets of truth and nothing that's fully true, okay? It's disheartening, it's alarming, it's saddening. I want to be at a point where I can go back to YouTube and Twitch and feel positive about what I'm doing. Not that I'm going to have a group of hundreds of people who've now found it their new hobby to hate on DSP because it's cool, it's the in thing to do. Oh, there's legitimacy to it because Chris Furtado, who made his website, hates him. And, you know, that's just, it's to a point where I had to address it and it has to stop. It does, it has to stop. No one can go on with this kind of thing happening nonstop. Now, I fully realize that pretty much nothing that I've said right now is ever going to change the fact that there's always going to be people that hate me. There's people who are going to take things out of this video. They're going to say that they're bullshit. They're going to take them out of context. I'm sure maybe I said something wrong once or twice in this video and they'll find a little way to nitpick it, all right? And they'll nitpick it and say, you know, Phil was wrong here. He's a liar. He's lying to you. Whatever. Those people will never go away because those people are parasites. Those are people who don't have any kind of talent. They don't have any kind of positivity. They don't have any kind of content that they can provide for you that'll ever be anything worth a shit. So what they do is they focus on the negative. They try to find flaws in others and they break them down and they nitpick them to the point where now, oh wow, this could be entertaining because I really destroyed this fucking guy, and they put that out as their content. So they're going to do that because they've realized they've gotten a big dose of popularity right now, all right? And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation, is that right now on YouTube, it's a fad. Everyone's doing it. You're going to see more and more people do it. I would like to make a request if I could, all right? And I don't know if anyone's gonna you know, buy into it, but I get so many messages on a daily basis about positivity. Phil, thank you so much for putting up with all this crap that's going on. I just got one today. Thank you for putting up with all the negativity that's going on. Please continue to make your content. We love what you're doing. We support you. And thanks so much. And that's the kind of thing that keeps me going. But the thing is, they send me a PM. They don't make a giant ranting video about it on YouTube. So what happens? You search for Dark Side Phil on YouTube and you see all the stupid rants from people who are out for themselves and aren't not telling the truth about me and my content, okay? And you see none of the positive stuff. So what I would ask is that if you are anyone who has been following my content, whether it's been for 2 days or 20 years, even though I haven't been making content for 20 years, maybe you went back in time in a time machine and watched it on loop on your laptop, I don't know, to start talking about it. Spread the word about the positivity about my stuff. What's your favorite DSP video ever? What was the favorite playthrough I did? What was your favorite vlog? What kind of stuff are you looking forward to for the rest of this year? Let's get some positivity out there. Let's talk about the stuff that we're really excited for this year instead of focusing on the negative. Because I don't understand how these people can go through their lives focusing on the negative. I'm the kind of person that if I don't like something, okay, then I won't be a part of it. If I don't like a certain TV show, do I take it upon myself to watch every TV show of theirs, of that show, and then immediately go online, wow, the show really sucked this week, what a piece of shit, I hope that the people involved die and they all fail and go become unemployed, all right? But it's funny because some people say that we do that with wrestling with smart guys. That is not true whatsoever. We do smart guys because we love pro wrestling, we love the product, and we're trying to give constructive recommendations of how it can improve. There is a vast difference between a constructive recommendation and just blatantly watching something to hate on it. How could you go through life doing that? And I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. If you are of that kind of person, you need to reflect on your life because you have something wrong up here. You're not going to get through life if all you do is focus on the negative and you focus on the bullshit. You need to focus on the positive things, the things that make you get up in the morning on a day when you feel like shit, a day when you don't want to get up, you don't want to put in the grind at your job, or you don't want to go to school. There's something positive to look forward to. Not, oh, I'm looking forward to getting up and watching a new video from someone I hate and shitting all over it. and then making a montage video of it, talking about how bad it is, and then making a slanderous video about that person as well. Like, what? This is what these people are doing, and it just baffles my mind that these people exist. How can you live like that? All right. So what I would ask from everyone is this: if you are an actual viewer of mine, a fan of mine, start the positive talk going. Talk to everyone about what you like. Make a vlog about it, you know? Start the positivity train going, because that's what we really need. We need to turn this around to the point where, like, okay, so there's this group of people that hate them, but look at the people who like them too. All right, now I'll watch them and I'll make my own decision. Because that's not what's happening right now. As I've said numerous times in this video, people are just going to YouTube, type in Dark Side Phil, and immediately there's 20 hate videos. Wow, this guy must be a real piece of shit. I mean, 20 people here said it. I'm not going to watch his content. Fuck him. And then they go elsewhere, you know? And, you know, again, I tried to ignore it for a month straight now, to the point where I couldn't anymore, because it was nagging me in the back of my head. I had to speak out about this issue. And also, there's just these people who are not my hardcore fans, and they're skipping my content. They're saying there's too much negativity associated with Dark Side Phil right now, and I don't understand it, but these people are saying he's a dick and he mistreats his fans. Well, fuck it. Let's not watch his content. And it's real disheartening. It's disheartening when you put out something that you know is quality, all right? Something like yesterday, Rayman Legends. John and I, we played Rayman Origins 2 years ago. That was during the wave of popularity that I had in 2011. Whenever we played something, we got the benefit of the doubt. Everyone considered me the underdog trying to make it. Here we are 2 years later, and it seems like that mentality is completely flipped on its head. It's like when Phil does something, let's find a way to nitpick it and make it sound like it's shit and make him sound bad so that no one will watch his content. So look at night and day, you know? Look at how Rayman Legends is being received right now versus 2 years ago. All those people, they're casual viewers who normally would have watched those videos, and they said, well, DSP's an asshole because this is what these people said, and they're booking. And that's concerning, because we've got big games coming. We got Grand Theft Auto 5 in less than 2 weeks. Obviously, I want lots of people to give it a shot. Lots of people are not going to because of this negativity that's going on right now on YouTube. And so I really need your help and your buy-in if you are someone who's watched my content for a while and you're a friend of mine or you're a fan of mine and you support me, to start spreading the positivity, all right? Because at this point, you know, I want this to continue. And like I said this year, I always expected, after that 1 or 2 years later, late 2010, 2011, that there was a big spike in my views. And I said, I knew that that could not last. That was nuts. It was like out of control, all right? And then over 2012, it declined a little. This year, I've seen a sharp decline. And I'm not complaining. I'm still doing well enough that I could support myself. But I don't want this to go away. I don't want this overwhelming negativity to turn off so many people because of misinformation from one fucking person who basically is a vile person, calling me cancer. Me. I'm the person now. Even if you hate my guts now, okay? You have to at least look back on the body of my work and admit that at some point there was probably something there that entertained you, and that is the reason why you even know who I am. I've tried numerous times in my career here on YouTube and Twitch to do things for positive reasons. Do you remember Bill S.97A and the SOPA and PIPA and how I spoke up about those issues? My video got over 600,000 views. That video got the attention of demandprogress.org. They directly contacted me and used that video to push their agenda to the mainstream. And in fact, after SOPA and PIPA got shot down, demandprogress.org personally contacted me because they wanted me to be in their book. They're writing a book about how SOPA and PIPA got shut down, and my video was such a big part of it. They wanted me to be part of the book. You know what I said? No. I said, I don't do it for the credit. I do it for the positive impact that I can leave on people. I don't want people to see my name in a book and say that Phil pushed the agenda and he's a major reason why that issue got out, because I don't need the credit. The credit was that it got shut down. That's all I care about, all right? So for you to call me cancer when the bottom line is what I did a few years ago saved a lot of people's asses. There's people who are doing video game footage on the internet probably wouldn't have been able to if SOPA and PIPA didn't get shot down. Now, not by any means am I saying I'm the only person responsible for it, but I was one of the first people to break the issue, and I let 600,000 people across the globe know about it, and they all spoke the fuck up and got it shut down. You think I'm cancer? No. People who make negative montages about people who just care about the negativity and try to break people down and twist little facts to try to make your agenda pass so you can get views, that's the real disease of the gaming community. That's the people who need to shut the fuck up because they're not helping anything. They're basically getting popular, making money at the expense of others when they have nothing entertaining whatsoever and nothing positive whatsoever to put out there. They're the ones that need to shut the fuck up because they're the ones that are going to ruin things for everyone. Alright? Okay. So. It's a load. It's a massive load off my shoulders. It's a massive load off my shoulders to finally get that off my chest. And I do feel relieved to finally say it. Okay? And I'm sorry. All I can say is this. I am sorry that I had to do that. Because the massive amount of influence that Chris had amassed, because he supposedly was the owner of my website, okay? For him to do what he's done, for him to say the things that he said, I had to respond, and I didn't want to. I said for the longest time, I had a PC that didn't work properly and was damaged. I never said a word about it. You know, I attacked him, sure. One night, I was a little drunk, I was a little pissed off, I attacked him in the stream chat, and I do admit that that was wrong to do, but he does still owe me an apology. I mean, now, at this point, with all the shit he said about me, no apology's ever gonna make up for it. Fuck it. Like, it's done. That bridge is burned. He's never, ever gonna be friends with me again. You know, I'm never gonna give him the time of day. Forget that shit. But, it's absolutely ridiculous that his influence and his misinformation, his blatant misinformation that he's been telling everyone has amassed this following of people that are all believing something that's untrue, okay? So I want to say thank you to everyone who watched this video. One more thing, everyone. I know most people left the stream already, so you won't believe this, but here we go. I got an email today from Twitch TV. You want to know what happened? Chris Furtado, who I made a vlog about yesterday and was very honest, a lot of people are loving the fact that I was very honest in the video and cleared some stuff up. Yeah, he complained to Twitch TV about the fact that I made that, and he tried to get me banned from Twitch TV. And Twitch TV contacted me and said, well, we were contacted. Apparently this guy's getting a lot of crap from your viewers because you made this video. Listen, you know, it's not you didn't break any rules or anything, but we don't like to have a lot of negative attention around the website, so please don't make, you know, negative videos calling people out like this and make a habit of it. And I responded to the guy and I said, no problem, this is a one-off thing. This kid was bullying me for months, and I decided to you know, to finally speak out and defend myself. That's the whole situation. I'm not going to be making these kind of vlogs anymore. So yeah, so once again, just adding fuel to the fire, you know, because it wasn't bad enough that for months he's been basically trying to attack me and lie about me. Then he tried to get me banned from Twitch for making that video too. So I just thought you guys like to know that. Okay.
When will the lies end?
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the
Kojima World Order.